Top of the morning to ya, and happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you lads and lasses out there. Okay. That was terrible. My most sincere apologies to Tommy Flannery and all those of you who actually are Irish out there. Can probably do a better accent than me. Uh, Today is a special day for our family because we love the minor holidays, and I've got this shirt that I'm wearing. I got a story about that. We love to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. We used to live in an area of St. Louis when I went to the seminary called Dogtown, and they've got this little Irish pub called Seamus McDaniel's that when our seminary income family, which is basically nothing, had the opportunity, the two of us, Leanne and I, to go out and splurge a little bit, we would go to this Irish pub. Wonderful burgers and, get out on the town a little bit. Anyway, the servers all wore these soccer jerseys, these football jerseys, if you want to go with the international term, with the emblem on them. And I always used to think, oh, those are just the coolest thing. And the servers get to wear these. I wonder how much they cost. I wonder if I could get one of them. And so one of those times when we were still frequenting that place, which was just down the street from where we lived when I was at the Sem, uh, I struck a deal and a bargain with my wife, and I said, if I'm allowed to get one of these, I will wear it every single St. Patrick's Day from now until the day that it wears out. And so, while today may be a day for eating corned beef and cabbage and potatoes for some people, and going to parades, which isn't going to happen today, this is a day for me that is about keeping promises. I promised I'd wear this jersey, and so I do. And as we think about in the midst of all the difficult stuff we're going through as a culture, as people, it's a good thing to be reminded that God is someone who keeps His promises. We love our green on St. Patrick's Day, don't we? But all the colors of the rainbow remind us that God keeps His promises. So I was looking through Genesis this morning. Genesis 6 through 8 tells the story of Noah, and again, be in the Word while you're apart from the church. Gathered. We're still the church when we're scattered. So take a look at Genesis 6 through 8, and at the very end of that, you get this beautiful passage about Noah's relationship with God. This is Genesis 8:20 through 22. It says, Then Noah built an altar to the Lord. He took some of every kind of clean animal and every kind of clean bird and offered burnt offerings on the altar. When the Lord smelled the pleasing aroma, he said to himself, I will never again curse the ground because of human beings. Even though the inclination of the human heart is evil from youth onward, and I will never again strike down every living thing as I have done. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter will not cease. And so we have that promise from God that He will sustain this world, that He's never going to destroy the world with a flood. And those are the kinds of things that we look to in troubling circumstances when it looks like all hope is gone and people are losing their heads. We look to God's promises that say, I'm going to take care of you. And if you're ever looking for like the sign that that's the case, you look to the cross. Because God said at the very beginning when Adam and Eve sinned, I'm going to send a Savior. And then He did. And not only that, he sent a Savior who could die and rise so that you could do the same. So I hope you hang on to that during these troubled times. One other thing I kind of want to just toss out there to you a little bit, something to think about. We've talked at Immanuel about these 1, 2, 3s, one mission, two places, three key relationships. And the one that I've kind of really been wrestling with recently or thinking a lot about is this idea of two places. That we are the church gathered and scattered. Things happened around the temple space and the table space. That's where disciples are made. And so while our table space has kind of gone dormant for the time being, I would encourage you to really dig into what God is calling you to grow into in your table spaces, because there's some really important things that happen in the church when we gather around tables, and how God may be calling you, once this quarantine kind of environment is lifted, how God may be calling you to invite other people to your table and to invest in their lives by loving them like Jesus. again, if you're reading Joining Jesus, I hope you take a moment to continue on that. If you've got your bookmark, that whole schedule is kind of going to go out the window a little bit, but we're still going to keep on talking about this, Immanuel, and kind of link up the sermon series and the book eventually, along with the home teams, even those can't meet. That's about all I got for you right now. So once again, stay in the Word, be well, look out for your neighbors and those people that God has called you to bump into and invest in, and I'll see you tomorrow. God's peace to you. Pastor out.